Duperas y Duperas. Today on Dupe by the River, we're going to look back at that rough matchup against Orlando. It was really rough, but we got to talk about that. And then we're also going to be looking ahead at this upcoming Saturday against Sporting Kansas City with a very special guest. I think a lot of you guys are going to be looking forward to. And don't you dare go anywhere because you do not want to miss this episode of Dupe by the River. And let's get it started, guys. Dupe by the River.
Doesn't do anything well. There is not one.
I'm sorry. There was no creativity.
As a Union fan, I take that all day.
Another DP. We need to go get Mario Balotelli.
And that is right. Welcome, everyone, to Dupe by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union. And, of course, we're brought to you by Philly Sports Network. Before we dive into today's episode of Dupe by the River, thank you so much for watching on live, whether you're here on YouTube or on Twitter. Thank you so much for tuning on in. On YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe for all of your future live viewings of Dupe by the River. And, of course, check us out on Twitter. You know, Tim's got you covered on match day, so make sure you never miss anything from any of us. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you, our experts in duping today. Please welcome back the man himself, Zach Labasso. Zach, my man, welcome back, brother.
What's up, man? Yeah, it's just, only work until 6:30 tonight, so we're able to hop on the pod. Yeah, it works out.
As I said before we went on live, I think this is the first time we've able to get Zach while it's still sunlight out. So we got the little views from Zach's office here.
I was gonna say with a nice little view out the window.
Yeah, you get a little skyline of my apartment complex. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on in Justin, president of marketing Friedberg. Justin,
it's another week, why do I torture myself? And then I answer because I love this game and I would rather be doing nothing else. So we gotta I don't know how much to talk about, but there's going to be some discussions on whatever this game was and why on earth we still play games during an international window.
Yeah. Who knows? But speaking of which, I did happen to watch a little bit of a glimpse of the U.S. men's national team. Only thing I will say, I got a little emotional seeing Brendan, Austin, and Mark. Like, it's truly incredible. Like the 2019 version of me was just smiling. Like, really smiling.
Yeah, like the more I look at that photo, like Brendan's the one that like broke out right away, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah." Mark. Mark's first season in Belgium was not
bad.
Great. Bad. Like he barely got time.
And when he did get time, he made mistakes. And
yeah, like it was rough. And then last year, he really, really got going. And this year, he has. I mean, there's a reason they are in first place by a comfortable margin. It is because that defense has been anchored by Mark and Trusty, who, listen, I don't think he'll play a game for Arsenal. But he has been balling out at Birmingham City. Like,
look at that! Look at those men.
Like that. It's the thing. Like that's just insane to see three guys from the tri-state area just absolutely crushing it on the international stage, and like it just makes it go like we saw them all play for the Union at one point. Like it just makes it honestly. It brings a tear to your eye, just being like,
it does. It really does.
We saw the early stages of what could be solid careers for all three of these guys.
Justin, what do we have? We have Medford. Is it Wilmington? Is he from Wilmington, Mark, or Newark?
I thought Mark was from Media, or that.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mark's from Delaware.
We got all right. So, anyways, we got Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania.
So we got Medford, Messi. We got the Delaware Desai, and then we have the Media Maldini. Is that what we're going with?
Hey, there you go. That's a.
I can't with you guys.
Is that what we're going with?
I love
I
it.
think Delaware Desai is top tier. I think that one's really good.
What's up right now? How you doing, man?
I was trying to think of a something with an N and being Nesta, but I'm like, there's not. I can't
Newark
think of anything.
Nesta. If he's from Newark,
Newark
that
Nesta.
also works.
Listen, there
If
you
he's
go.
from if he's from Newark, if he's from Newark, then then Newark Nesta is the way to go for sure.
Oh well, damn. Mark is actually born in the Bronx, but we as we all know, he grew up in Delaware.
Nah.
It says growing up in Bear, Delaware. I'm not sure where that is. He did play for the Wilmington Rangers.
The Bear Baresi, then we go Bear Baresi. We got there's so many center backs out there. So many center backs out there.
All right, well, let's actually talk about this center backs. I'm sure we're going to talk about them in the next segment here. Let's recap our last match here. Oh boy, against Orlando, Saturday night, a little bit of rain. It was weird because I thought it'd be raining the whole match, but it didn't. We got about like 20 so minutes of rain. But your lineup here, obviously, that was the big topic of discussion with international break. But you had Bennick in goal, Wagner, Elliott, Glasses, and Bias as your back line. You still stuck with the diamond. Andres Pereira was on the left-hand side with Flock at the 6, Ali at the right, Joaquin Torres at the tip of the diamond, with your two forwards being Michael Urre and Chris Donovan. Of course, as we all know, Orlando started off this match guns a-blazing with 2 early goals in those 10 minutes. Ojeda in the 2nd minute, Angola in the 9th minute, and that kind of put the Union in a tough spot. You had a nice, a great work ethic on Pereira's goal in the 17th minute that cut it back down to 1. But unfortunately, the Union just could not get anything past Stuttgart. And so the Union would settle for no points, and we have now lost 3 matches in 5 in the MLS play so far this season. So, gentlemen, obviously nobody wants to lose again. But obviously, as well, we should be playing an international break. So, Zach, let's start off with you, my man. Your takeaways from Saturday, another loss here by our boys in blue.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Like, we have CCL, okay, and no one does well with CCL ever. Just for some reason is
As
never
Elijah
the and the reason is because the rosters are not as deep. Like when Man City's got UCL and Premier League 3 games in 6 days, like they're rotating $400 million for $600 million. Like it's not the end of the world for them. The Union have to play guys who, don't play that much, or they can't make the subs they would normally make because they don't have a bench. They had 4 people on the bench? 5? Yeah, including a goalie, so 4 field players. Like that's a big problem. And then also, you have, we just haven't been that good at the beginning of the season. Like it is what it is. Like there's nothing you can really do about it. And then international break, like that's the problem with the bench. Like you don't have the depth that you would normally have. I don't understand why. I know why MLS plays through, because we have Leagues Cup garbage. That's why they have to. That's why they have to play through the international break. But I'm not overly concerned. Like it's 5 games into the season. They have how many do we play? 36.
I mean, are you just saying MLS? Because
just MLS. Just MLS.
I think it's like 34. 34?
34, something like that. Whatever it is. We still have 34 games left. Or we have 30 games or 29. How many have we played? 5? We 29 games left.
There you go.
My math is not my math is not mathing right now. We have 29 games left. They'll be fine, right? They're a talented team. They'll be able to get through whatever they're going through right now and come out better on the other side. They just have to wait for something to click. That's all it is.
Okay. Justin, so 2 things that I've really seen people concerned about as of late, but especially in the Orlando match. The back line obviously didn't play its best. Forwards, I mean, listen, love Chris Donovan, great story, but we've talked about this before. For you personally, what was more concerning on Saturday night? That back line or the forwards?
See, like, listen, I am not concerned about the back line. I think, I mean, listen, there's a reason that back line was the best in the MLS for a reason last year. Like, I think arguably this is probably the worst game that they've ever had to date. But like, hey, it's 5 games into the season, and it's actually like we have CCL still, and listen, like historically, I mean, you look at a lot of MLS Cup winners, the second half of the season is where you really shine, and where you'll make moves. So like, if the Union are still in a playoff spot come June or July, and then they start making a push, I'm not going to be as worried. But I definitely think the forward situation. Listen, I don't know. I don't know why people are putting this on Ua. I actually thought Ua got into some good areas and created some good chances. Listen, if Carranza's there, even with Torres, I think there's better chances. Like I still want to keep giving Chris Donovan a chance, but it more and more feels like there's a reason why Joaquin Torres is both the backup for Gazdag and the striker position. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I mean, I know that you two were playing the next day, but like, start wondering about Nelson Pierre. I mean, that kid, listen, Donovan got the same chances last year, and I'm sure Pierre will probably get chances this year.
Have you watched him in U2 so far?
No, I watched him a bit last year. He's a beast. Like I think he's still obviously he needs to, obviously he'll need to put on muscle. Like I think that's kind of like the, the body style, like the way the gait is, like the Josie, the Daryl DK, that big physical striker that's gonna get in behind. And I think obviously that's going to take time, but with Chris Donovan, like he's putting himself in great situations, and then it just disappears. Like he'll get himself into the scenarios. Zach, like you and I are with the striker. Like if you get yourself in the position, but you don't finish, you don't do anything with it. It doesn't matter that you got yourself into that position.
Yeah, and people will talk about how like, oh, but like the XG will balance out eventually. And I'm like, maybe, but like we saw what happened with Timo Werner at Chelsea. Like, and I'm not even saying, listen, Timo was actually pretty good at Chelsea. He could have just, it's the same thing with the Casper situation. Like Casper, scored what, 12 or 15 goals, could have scored 30. Like that's the problem. Like you can't be an elite striker when you miss so many chances. Like that's not what elite strikers do. Elite strikers score 2/3 of their chances. That's probably not an accurate statement. But
that's
basically how it needs to be, though, because if you want to be a starter in this league and you're not finishing easy chances, you're not going to score the hard ones. So you're just not going to score. Like that's what it comes down to. So figuring that part out is going to be a big thing, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. And I genuinely wonder, and it is still, I believe the primary window is through April, I believe there's the MLS's primary window, or April or May. I don't think the Union are going to look externally, because at this point, like,
no, I think they'll wait for the summer, if anything.
But I do, you do start to wonder if, I mean, there have been a lot of well-established pieces that have been some solid what I would consider MLS gold and MLS vets who have been around and can be a solid backup. I mean, listen, when it comes to like mid-season, there are always names being tossed around, and I genuinely wonder if the Union will go target an MLS vet, at least like one as a solid backup, but also to give guys like Donovan like honest lessons on like where, because we've seen it where you bring in a vet, and even if they don't play much, them just teaching the younger players.
Oh yeah,
really
for sure. It's huge.
It's like you joke it like it's like I said Kai Kamara. Kai Kamara has been around more teams in this league than than you can count at this point.
It's the
And
Josh McCown of MLS.
but there's a reason. One, because he's a prolific goal scorer, and two, because he genuinely like everywhere he's been, people have said like he has been great for the younger players.
Yeah.
And I think bringing in a vet may be the answer, because outside of your top two forwards, listen, Joaquin Torres, I would much rather have coming off the bench to support Gazdag to close out those games. I do not want him having to be the third forward. I genuinely think that's kind of why we should have gotten another forward. When we got the attacking piece, we should have gotten another forward. And he can be a false nine, but that's not what this team needs when they are missing some of these pieces. And again, at the end of the day, as Zach talked about it, we like missing some of the pieces would not have been a big deal, because you can say, oh, well, we'd rotate this player in and this player in. Well, with the international break, when pretty much all those pieces that we would rotate in are missing, like, listen, there's a reason why this last weekend's slate of games was absolutely
wild.
Columbus beat Atlanta 6-1. Like,
yeah.
Like it. Genuinely, I don't think any of these results reflect how these teams actually are, because again, we're playing in an international window because the MLS decided we needed more competitions.
More competition. Look, obviously, Urre got a lot of criticism after leaving. What, 67 minute? I forget what it was.
Yeah, and I genuinely do not understand.
He had the flu.
So that's what Jim said after the press. Like, he was battling something. We don't know exactly what.
It's a shame it wasn't an MJ flu game, but
but considering that context, I said Chris Donovan should have came off before. Like if we had the subs, Chris Donovan would have came off, because I genuinely thought Ua had as good of a game as you could have given the circumstances. Like, at least he was creating more of the chances, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Orlando, you give them credit because they typically don't play well when they come to Chester. And during international break, they're obviously missing Facundo Torres and Pedro Gaese, which are big losses for themselves. And dude, they jumped right off the gate. 10 minutes, that was really good soccer by them, and they took advantage of us. And it's kind of hard to get back into the rhythm of what you were trying to do in the match when you're down 2-0 in 10 minutes. And I do give the credit for battling it out, but obviously, when you have like a 65% Urre, Chris Donovan. I mean, we talked about it.
And Ua and Chris Donovan are like the same type of player too.
Exactly.
Like, you have two of the same archetype up top together. That's why I wanted to see Raffanello at the 10 with Torres, because it would have given a different look, but we didn't see that.
I don't think Jim. He's done enough to show Jim that he can get some minutes.
I guess.
Well, I genuinely think if you had Carranza available, I think.
It would have been much different.
Would be a different story. Like, I think that's the thing.
Because then you sub Donovan on for Ua instead of at 60 minutes.
That's been the sub. And,
yeah.
And that's been a fine sub, but I think having them on together just doesn't work.
No, they are too similar.
Absolutely. Zach, what I want to ask you real quick about the back line was, do you think Orlando did anything different, or do you think it just was an uncharacteristic match by?
No, I mean, they just went right over the top on the first goal. Like, nothing special at all. Like, there was nothing like that's a type of goal where I'll say to my team, like, they didn't do anything special to beat us. Like, they went straight down the middle, right over the top. Guy finished a breakaway. Like, those are the goals you can't let happen.
They played Route 1 soccer. That, as the British say, like, literally.
Yeah, like, and that's
up there and just doing, like, that's exactly what.
And you can't let that happen. And our back line, like, is not the fastest. It hasn't been in years, like, because we've had the same back line. So it's not even, it's something that, like, you have to take consideration of always. Like, we were just caught out a couple times. I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing, but yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But I wouldn't imagine that it would continue the same way. Like, I'm sure Jim was not happy with the goals that they conceded.
They were all pissed. That's what he said. They were all pissed after the match. But Zach, I'm really glad you're here because we have about 9 minutes before we talk about SKC. And I really wanted to talk. We had an interesting discussion in the group chat about Leon Flock. I think there is a perception that the fans had on Saturday. And I think there's something that we both discussed as well. I thought Flock was okay. I personally felt the absence of El Brujo Martinez. But I also think as well that I'm fine with leaving Flock at the left now. And I really, from what I've seen at CCL, I've liked what I've seen from Bueno at the 6 than what Flock gave us. And it's just one match, right? It is one match, and you can't overreact over one match. But I've been thoroughly impressed by Jesus Bueno. Give us your thoughts and your take about Flock on Saturday, brother.
So I like this. So first thing I went to look at, I was like, because people were like saying he played horribly and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, there wasn't a time in the game where I was like, oh, that's terrible. Like, oh, he should have done so much better. Like, he had an average performance. And I looked at his match rating. It was 6.5. You know what Brujo's average match rating for the season is? 6.8. So it's not like he vastly underperformed anything that Brujo's been doing. The team just played like crap. Like, it happens. He was also in a situation where he hasn't played 6 all season. Okay? That's something new. He also was not with the best 11. You also have to take that into consideration. Like, one argument I heard was like, oh, you put Brujo at the 6 and Leon at the left, different game. Yeah, obviously. But I think if you put Brujo at the 6 and you leave everything else the same, it's a very similar match. Like, I don't think there was anything that Leon did, in my opinion, that cost the Union the game. Like, that's not the perception I had.
Agreed.
I do think, maybe a hot take, I think our midfield at its best is a little overrated at this moment in time. Simply because I think that Pereira needs to start every game. But I also think that means that maybe Ali doesn't start because Pereira's Ali, but 22 years old. Like, they are very similar players the way they play. They want to get forward. They do get back, albeit maybe a little reluctantly, because, you know, that's just, the right side has always been the more attacking side for the Union. Except for when Jack's in, but that doesn't happen in the 4-4-2 very often. At least not from the start. So I think that changing the lineup is something that we won't see, but is something that I think we should see. I think giving Bueno a chance both on the left and at the 6 is something I'd like to see, because I think Bueno's super techie, and I think that from either the 6 or the left side at 8, he could, you know, kind of control a game. And yeah, I think that at the beginning of at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year, everyone was like, oh, let's run it back. And the Union have made some change. They did bring in Pereira and they did bring in Torres, which have been good signings, I think, for sure. The thing is they are still currently bench pieces. And we see, I'm going to compare the Union to Liverpool right now. Liverpool have ran it back pretty much for the past 4 years. And Liverpool stink right now. And I think Kevin's a Liverpool fan, so we can actually talk to him about this. They are bad right now because they've had the same midfield for the past 4 years. Right? They've had Thiago, they've had Henderson, and they've had Wijnaldum and Fabinho. Yeah, those have been and they've
James Milner
James Milner, who seems to never age. So that's the thing. I think change is necessary. And I think that's why Pep is such a great manager, because every year he brings in 3 or 4 new guys and lets 1 or 2 guys go every year without fail. He keeps it fresh. Like Cancelo, probably one of the best left backs in the world, one of the best right backs in the world. Didn't get along with Pep. Pep was like, all right, you're not happy here? You can go. That's fine. He does it's not like obviously Pep has love for his players, but it's a business, right? Like at the end of the day, it is a business. Like you can't the whole oh, he's a nice guy, he should stay with the Union thing. Like that's bullshit. Like that's never gonna win you a trophy. Like you might fall in love with a guy, but at the end of the day, if he's not getting the job done, you got to be like, all right, dude, cut our losses. Let's find someone else. That's the business of sports in general. So I think that there's a lot of tweaking that should be done. I don't know if we'll see it, but we'll see. My rant is now over.
Dude, for all those Union fans who were being concerned about after 5 matches, they just heard Zach. They're like, yes, this is why we're concerned. So listen, you do bring up some valid points. So Justin, we got 3 minutes. So from what we just discussed, who would you like to see as far as the backup 6, a rotation of the midfield?
Bueno. Leon at this point is better served as a shuttler. And if it is this in the situation where you are missing a number of pieces, I mean there is a midfield where you could throw Bueno in the 6 and throw Pereira and Ali in there if you wanted to, or if you wanted to again kind of tinker with it, but assuming that a normal lineup or a normal-ish lineup where Carranza isn't suspended, I would maybe have Bueno and then either Leon or Pereira, Bedoya or Pereira. Again, you can flip-flop either way. Torres at the top, and then Carranza Ua. I think in this scenario, and we've seen games where Berjesus has been put at the 6. He is arguably the better 6 in this scenario, because when we talk to Leon, he's not a 6 in this setup, and he can do the coverage, but there's a lot of other things that Brujo does, and we might complain about Brujo, but the ugly shit, the stuff that gets stuck in, and the reason why teams will end up trying to cross balls in on the Union and why they clear him out is because of Brujo and the way he plays that position. And I think Leon, I love Leon, but he doesn't have those intangibles, and I think he's better as a shuttler bringing the ball up.
It is an interesting point, and obviously as we move forward, we will see how Jim does handle this rotation.
And one more thing, I think another issue that happened on Saturday is that the box to box guys, Ali and Pereira, they aren't as defensive as Leon is. And usually you have one side that's more defensive, which is Leon's side, and one side that's more attacking, which is Ali's side. On Saturday, it was kind of just Leon in the middle, and then those two guys were both going, whereas Leon might sit a little more. So I think the cover was not as consistent as it normally is when Leon's on that left side. So I think that's a big deal. I think if you had either Leon or Bueno on the left and the other one at the 6 this weekend, that would have been a lot more successful, because Bueno probably would have sat a little bit more than Pereira or Ali did. Which it's no knock on either of them. It's just their tendencies, right? They're both more attacking minded center midfielders. That's just what it is. And that's good to have on a team. It's just in this situation, it wasn't what Union needed.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So hopefully our boys in blue can get a little bit of a dub. Because listen, 3 losses in 5 matches, not Union soccer in 2020, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously, next up, the boys in blue, we welcome on Kansas City. We haven't seen a while. It has been a minute since we've seen Sporting KC. So, guys, as we have promised you, we have on the GOAT himself to give us the perspective of Kansas City. So, without further ado, this guy doesn't need much of an introduction, but please welcome este boludo, Kevincho! What's up, bro?
What's up? Hey, my boys in Philly. What's up? Thank you guys for having me. Super big honor. Look, before you guys even get into roasting my club or me or anything, I have to say, listen, I think it's funny because you guys, I'm listening to you guys, you're like, oh dude, we have this problem here. We got to see this. You guys don't know pain. Okay. Your problems are like, all right, how can we get back to a conference final? Run it back. Let's go. I'm over here. I just want one win. Damn. That's it.
Kev,
Kev,
that's
like,
not
how
true.
can this team not make me cry tomorrow?
Hold on, Kev, but that's not true because Justin and I had to go through Berhalter U.S. men's national team, and John, Colombia didn't make the World Cup, so we definitely do know pain as of the last 8 months. But you know, I do get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying.
Yeah. I guess we all understand.
I do always have to look up to Argentina and Brazil. That's why I wanted to start off this with I have to do a little gloating myself. So I know Kevin remembers watching this. You know, the little cinco. We still celebrate this in Colombia.
Really? Yeah. Wait, where was this at? What was this in Colombia?
No, I think this was
it was in Argentina. Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, but
this is before I wasn't even born yet, dude. Listen,
1 year before.
Okay.
I was born 94. This is 93, and all my cousins would tell me about this game, and once it came on YouTube, I've watched it ever since. But this is something that we have definitely celebrated.
I love it. Hell yeah, I love that. No, I get it. I have a buddy that does like content in Spain, and he brings up like the worst loss in Argentina's history is against Spain like 4 years ago. So I get it. It's cool.
Kevincho, we do want to ask you, man, because the content you've been making, I know it's painful time for you, but I think it's extremely relatable. You put a little fun into it as well. So before we start off, I just want to know, how did this come about? This Kevincho, the rise of Kevincho.
It is. I'll give you like the quick story because it is a very weird one. But basically, I've always wanted to work in film. So in high school, me and my younger brother, we started a YouTube channel, and it like evolved into so many different. We went from like gaming to vlogs to now in the past like 4 years, it's just been me doing like mini documentaries and stuff that I'm interested in. And right before the Copa America, last Copa America, I had I made a video about, I can't remember if it was about the World Cup or something. And I had a thought of like doing watch along streams just in the back of my head. So then I started a separate channel, did watch along streams for Argentina games, had a good time during that Copa America, of course. And after that was done, I went back to the main channel, started doing more videos, more documentaries. And then I thought of doing MLS content, basically because I had a video that I was just angry at MLS because I grew up, I picked up on MLS like, I don't know, in 2012, and a lot of things bothered me about the league or whatever. So I just made a video about it. And in the middle of it, I asked all my sporting buddies, hey, I need B-roll. I just need B-roll of fans. Like maybe is there a fan TV account or something? And they were all like, Kevin, there's not. So then I'm like, okay. So I just finished the video, left that out. And then that pretty much bothered me. I mean, I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, dude, it's so weird that sporting doesn't have like fan accounts, not just podcasts where you don't ever see them. I need people to put on in videos. So then I was like, all right, halfway through the last season, I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a new channel. I'm gonna try it out, see if like 3 or 4 people will hang out with me, and yeah, it just like turned into. It was good for me because sporting sucked, so at least they sucked, but I had fun talking to people or whatever. And it was like one of the worst seasons in our history. Then of course we had World Cup, did some streams during the World Cup. Then now the season started again. So this would be like my first full real season of doing watch-alongs, but it's been like the weirdest ride ever.
I think I speak for most. I hope KC can become good because then the content might not be good.
That's fair. I get it. Literally everyone says that, so I get it. It's cool.
Maybe that's why SKC's not playing as well because
Yeah, they're
Hey.
doing it on purpose for the views.
At this, I mean, every game that we lost, like we're leading at the half, like 1-0 or something, and then the other team just turns it around every single time. I don't know what's going in the halftime talk, but it's got to be like, hey, we gotta suck now for the rest of the game or something.
Yeah, they're like,
I don't know.
Kev's views are dropping, guys. We got to pick this
Yeah,
up.
and Kev, and honestly, if that happens in Philly, the Union are the wrong team to want to have a second half comeback come up against.
That's true. That's true. I get that. I this Philly game, I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but I'm so interested. I'm going to be straight up. I'm expecting a straight L for sure, but
So are the Orlando fans.
oh, that's true. That's true. But the thing is, like, at least Orlando is okay. You guys are not playing. I mean, Orlando, they had the little cup run last season with the U.S. Open. They have some good quality players. That wasn't a shocker that Orlando won. It sucks for Philly fans or whatever, but yeah, Sporting Kansas City winning, bro.
I mean, come on.
The league would burn. The league would burn.
We got Carranza coming back. We got Daniel Gazdag.
We may have
Andre Blake.
Andre, yeah, maybe.
I mean, listen,
Bro,
if
drop
any hope
12.
of scoring, Andre
Drop
kind of snuffs most of those out.
Yeah.
Yo, what if like out of spite they start Torres and Torres and Carranza just for
Just for
Kevin?
Kev.
Bro,
Just for Kev.
they're just gonna
hurt-
assist
just
each
to hurt.
other. Oh, nah, dude.
And they both have braces and they're shellacking.
Yeah, that would be the end of my life, dude.
You'd have very conflicting feelings on that one.
But I really would. And Julian is one of those players where I felt bad when he was in Orlando, right? Before
Miami.
Miami, my bad. Well, oops,
Man,
sorry,
feels
Orlando
fine,
fans.
But being played out of position and being stuck behind the lesser Higuain brother.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, the lesser you going, that says a lot. But yeah, I think I just feel bad. I like him as a player. I would love to have someone like that on my team. But he's in Philly. He did well. I was rooting for him last season when you guys went all the way to the final. I just wanted him to just, I don't know, hat trick in the final or something nasty, But anyways, this season I think I know you guys had a rocky-ish start. Like at first, I'm like, "Oh, Philly's back! All right, Philly's gonna do the thing."
Yeah, after
and
4-1 against Columbus.
yeah, I was like, "Ooh, they're gonna kill everyone. It's gonna be L.A. Philly again, repeat." And then, those two games. But again, it's so early that I wouldn't be worried.
Yeah, and CCL too. It's
And
just-
CCL, exactly.
I did love I don't know what you call these. It's like it feels like a
promo. It's a promo.
It's-
Absolutely,
it
that's
is-
exactly what it is.
But you did ruffle a couple of Philly fans' feathers when he brought up the World Series and the Super Bowl. It's like,
Bro.
and MLS Cup final.
What I'm saying is, okay, Philly gets a lot of hate. Let's be honest. Okay, Philly fans in general. I've heard
Why?
there's two things. Argentina fans, we get a lot of shit. We get a lot of hate. Argentina as a country, and a lot of it's warranted. Philly fans, same thing. I've heard from everyone in the world. Okay, Philly fans got they are obnoxious. They're loud. They're rude. Like everybody was scared when you guys lost the Super Bowl. Everyone was like, "Bro, they're about to burn the city." That LA or Philly fans have that reputation. But here's the thing: it's just because you guys know pain. You guys have been. Even
my
before
God.
the finals I brought up,
I get
you
that.
guys have been in decades of pain,
Yeah.
I remember rooting for, and I even said, I didn't say it in that promo, but in just talking to friends, like if the Chiefs lost to the Eagles, it would be the one team I would want to lose to. I like the Eagles. I have no problem. A lot of people hate the Eagles, hate them, hate the fans, hate everything. I like it. I love that type of environment. I love fans that will cuss you out just because you're the away fan or an opposing fan. That's the type of shit I like. That's why I like your guy. And the same thing with your team. I see the same vibes and I love it.
See, Kev, that's the thing. This is how I describe Union fans, and this is why I get along with so many opposing fans.
Uh-huh.
We will say "fuck you," and then in the same breath offer you a beer.
Yes.
That's just that because it's like, listen, for 90 minutes I'm gonna fucking hit your guts, but before and after, hey, you want a beer? You want to mess around? Yeah, sure. That's kind of
And
like
that's the
we're
problem as well.
assholes. But we're welcoming assholes.
I like that better than fake nice, to your face, turn behind your face. Everyone's
Good
rude,
game.
dude.
Hope you have a good game.
Yeah, no, bro. Give me a
Yeah.
little middle finger. I give you a little FU, and then, we're good for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
All right, Kevincho. I know you don't want to talk about this, but we need to know in Philadelphia, what the fuck is going on with KC, brother?
Bro, it's crazy.
Give it to
'cause
us straight.
here's and I'm so glad Tom Bogert said it, and then like some other people, some other pundits said it, but just talking to them, and they're like, okay, but they just brought up this fact, and it's stuck with me, and I've stayed pretty calm, if you believe that. They pretty much just said, hey, no team in MLS would play well at all if they lost 3 of their DPs. If they lost 2 of their DPs, some clubs can't even go with a week without 1 DP without freaking out.
Mhm.
Well, we haven't had people since 2021, bro. Like freaking, it is broken kneecap city in Kansas City. Nobody can play a full season. Alan Pulido that's our Julian. That's our Chicharito. That's our guy. He's been gone since 2021. So I'm in this world that it's like, okay, we signed 2 guys halfway through last season. We looked okay towards the end. Didn't make playoffs, but at least we looked better. And this season, it's just been like, those guys are not firing. I don't know why. And Alan is ready. It's just we have horrible defenders that they get red cards, and our coach goes, hey, I'm not putting Alan in because we're down a man. We need another defender. Then Jordan Morris scores 4 goals and wants people to love his. I don't know. Now everyone's like Jordan Morris to the World Cup or whatever the frick.
No,
So
thanks.
Yeah, listen, you guys made Jordan
No,
Morris
thanks.
look good.
yeah, that's our fault.
Yeah, thanks.
How
Thanks,
dare
guys.
you guys, Kevin?
Sorry,
How
guys.
dare you?
God.
Bro, I keep responding to people. I'm like, guys, it was against Sporting. Please, for the love of God, even
Don't take it seriously.
even Seattle fans that I talked to before literally said off camera, like not recording, they go, hey, I cannot stand Jordan Moore. I want to sell that dude. So that was right before the game. Now after the game, I know all the guys because I talked to them. They're tweeting like, oh, he's such a G, he's a dog. Look at him just waving at the fan. I'm like, bro, you were ready to sell his ass 3 days ago, dude. But hey,
that's the hypocrisy I love.
Yeah, exactly. Seattle, dude. There's some weirdos up there. I don't know.
So what is going on with Alan Pulido?
So
He's been having
Yeah.
that nagging injury, of course, but I guess like long term, how do we feel about Pulido?
This is last season on his contract. I say goodbye, Alan, after this season, even if he just like becomes a god. Because of like 3 things. Like the dude wants to play for the national team. He's said that like a million times. He's had that injury. He's gotten injured both times because he went to play for Mexico during a national team break or a little international break. Then he came back injured both times, dude. It's like, oh, like you're killing me. Like, so now I'm in the spot where Alan wants to play for the national team. Even rumors of him going back to Mexico playing for Chivas have been around. I don't even see him re-signing. I think he had his time here. He wants to restart, refresh. I don't blame him. But right now he needs to play well or he needs to play 1, but 2, he needs to play well because he needs to prove himself for Chivas or for a club in wherever. He can't be sitting on the bench for the rest of the season. Right now, since the media day till now, which was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he's been fine. Like he's ready to go. And actually, like right before the Seattle game, he went on Instagram Live and said, in Spanish, like, hey, we're ready to go for tomorrow. I'm ready. Here we are. We're in the pool, whatever. And then to get to play because we were getting destroyed. We had red cards and he never got to play. But coach talked about he had fluid coming out of his knee. After each game that he was okay in, they had to get rid of fluid out of his knee every game. Like the dude is a G. I mean, he fights through the pain.
That's not good.
Yeah,
I'm no doctor, but I don't think
that's not normal.
That's not a recommended.
Yeah. And then Sporting forced him to get the surgery. I mean, Sporting, the medical staff was like, "Dog, you cannot be leaking after every game. You gotta go.
This has to stop.
Dude, this has got to end.
This is
right
kind
now.
of gross. We don't want to take this out.
I'm sure the doctor
leaking.
said that. Yeah, exactly. So Alan is in this spot where I think he plays this weekend. He's not on any injury report. Literally coach said he was going to play, like be subbed in until Ben Sweat had a red card. So there's that. And I think the only feeling that I have right now is like if Allen comes in, I hope he starts against Philly. I just want him to look okay. I know he hasn't played in like a year and a half. Allen's not going to be a god baller, but he is just a quality guy that we just want to see him, get in some reps, and then hopefully maybe next month or whatever we get a couple wins and look better. But we'll see.
Do you think there's a chance he goes in the summer?
Oh yeah. Oh no. In the summer, no. I don't think he goes in the summer because the only reason I don't think so is he's not gonna have enough time, and clubs are gonna be like, "Is he good? Is he ready? Like, is he still messed up with this injury?" But no, and for your question, if it's game time, I think it's more like he's gonna play. It's more like coach being like, "I just don't want Philly. It's like coach wants Philly to be. Yeah. It's like the coach doesn't want Philly to be like, okay, we got a plan for Polito playing, and Philly could look at your coach could look at footage from 2021. I don't know how much that's going to help. I mean, it's like a whole different league, but I think it's going to be a little hush hush until game day. They're going to say Allen's back, ready to go. They actually made a post saying Allen's back for the Seattle game and then deleted it.
Play.
Yep.
Allen's back on the bench.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that is terrible. We did talk beforehand about just the overall direction of the club. I asked you about because obviously when a team's struggling, the first inclination is like, is the manager the problem?
Mm-hmm.
You brought up an interesting point, but Peter's been there for a while. It's funny as we're talking about this now. Zach's talking about we've had the same squad for the past couple seasons as well. At some point, do you believe that the Vermees message does go stale, or do you believe that the FO needs to do a better job putting a team for him?
Well, easy answer, guys, is both. But what I feel is okay. First of all, Peter's just signed for 5 more years. Just did, literally right before the season started.
Big contract.
He's already the longest tenured coach with one club. Now he's gonna be just literal president of the damn organization.
He's gonna own it at some point.
Exactly.
He's sporting Vermees soon.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. There was some U.S. men's national team talk, not always coach, but somewhere in there, maybe replacing Reyna. Maybe he takes his spot or whatever. And he turned it down. He just said nope. And I think it's because he is comfortable. He knows the club. He's literally the club at this point. And I think it's more than that. I'm going to bring this up over and over to anyone I talk to because it hit me the other day, and now I'm like, I got to tell you. I got to tell everyone. My first game was in 2012, like physically being at Children's Mercy Park. I'm experiencing MLS for the first time. From 2012 to 2023, there has not been any changes. And I mean, in the smallest details to the biggest, from entering game day, the music they play, the I don't know, the hype videos they post is like the same exact stencil that they use. The graphics are the same. The jerseys, don't even get me started on freaking half hoop stripe 4.0, whatever the hell we call it.
The Argyle, man. Come on.
Bro, if a Philly fan is saying that, you got to be joking, Sporting. I mean, come on. Every single one of us have been saying this for years, dude. Okay, I don't even want to get into it because we're going 30 minutes of just ranting. But the thing is, like, without any changes, we even have obviously the same coach, but the same players. I have Zusi was the captain of the national team at that point, and he's still here playing the same position. We went from the U.S. being in a World Cup, skipping 4 years, no World Cup, back up to another World Cup, and we have the same dudes in our team. It's unbelievable. Espinosa, I thought that man was 40 in 2012. The man has to be at least 60 years old right now. Like, it's unbelievable. So there's many things. So yeah, it's like we had a front office kind of takeover happen recently with Jake Reed taking over, and I'm not that much in the weeds to go like, oh yeah, all they care about is the margins and they don't care about the quality or whatever. I don't know any of that. Can't speak to that. But what I do know is it took them 6 months to even try to get someone in our team, anyone fresh. during last season. If you guys remember last season, we were getting stomped every week, which we already kind of are already again. But last season, it was like unbelievable. Like we were getting destroyed. And then it took them that long. So that, to me, that's front office problems. The other thing is with the environment within the stadium, down to our supporter group, is kind of like everything just seems boring. No one's having fun anymore. It was that club that's like, oh, we're a new club. So everyone's like, ooh, so excited. It's exactly what St. Louis is going through. Like, I'll see St. Louis in 10 years. They're going to be the exact same Missouri, Kansas type team. Boring. No one's going to care about them. Just stale. I don't know. We're not like a Philly. We're not like a New York or a Miami or LA where we have pull and, we have big teams and, whatever. That's like a Kansas City problem. I don't know if it's ever going to be fixed. If we get a new coach, I think we're going to be in the same problem, unfortunately.
Yeah, comfortability is always such a tough thing in sports. And I was talking about, I don't know if you heard before, but I was talking about when you're a Liverpool fan. Yeah. Liverpool is the same thing, dude. The midfield has been the same for the past 4 years. Yep. And I think that's what, like, and I was saying this, and I'll keep it short because everyone heard this, but that's like what separates Klopp from Pep is like Klopp is too loyal to a fault, and Pep is like willing to get rid of dead wood. Like he got rid of Cancelo. He's like, you don't want to be here? Leave. See ya. I have 4 other dudes who can do what you do. And that's the thing. Like, you have to bring in new exciting pieces, or else it just gets stale. And when things get stale, results dip. And when results dip, fans aren't happy. And when fans aren't happy, then the prices go down. And that is ultimately what's going to make changes, is when the team stops making money because they suck that bad.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not like Euro snob, and I don't want to say this to sound like one, but like right now it would feel real nice if we had relegation. I know we would be relegated, but that scare would put
comfortability. It's comfortability, man. Like if you have a chance of getting kicked out of a league, you're not gonna want to suck ever.
Exactly.
I mean, at this point though, Chicago and Cincinnati.
Chicago might always want to suck.
Would have been like Chicago. Would have been like League 2 by this point.
Yeah,
Chicago is so bad.
No, they would be the club that gets promoted and then relegated the next year.
They'd be the very definition of a yo-yo club.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Justin, where do you think Peter Vermees is going to be going on Friday? Maybe a little Whistlers on 1:30, going back to Delran?
Listen, it depends on who you talk to in this area to how he's received. As I've said before, my dad is a few years older than Peter, and my uncle played soccer as well, and he coached my uncle against Peter Vermees, and he basically just said, and it's true to this day, he's like, man, Peter's a fucking asshole. And it's one of those in this area, depending on who you talk to, it's like, oh yeah, they're great at all the compliments, and it's also like, oh, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And I think the way his personality is, if he didn't have whatever, like, I don't know what, like, quote unquote quota or credit he built up in the first, half of his tenure to warrant this. But like at this point, looking at it, if you look at the way he's organized things, and it's because if everything has stayed the same, the results have gotten worse. And you like it, at least, with the Union. Listen, we know the first half of our existence we were bad. We had one playoff appearance, and we had 3 Open Cup final losses. Yeah. That's why we know pain. Sporting KC was the flip. During that period, you guys were successful. You guys were winning MLS Cups. You guys were winning Open Cups. You guys were the perennial, favorites for a while.
Yeah.
And then, you've held on to, Elie leaving before last season was massive. It was also coming because you knew you weren't going to hold on to a player of that caliber. Matt Beasler, I mean, at this point, God, like the year before he retired, he really should have retired a few years prior at that point. Graham Zusi, again, he's like,
while he still plays soccer.
Where I'm like, he's still playing. Like, it's one of those, like, He's still. I'm waiting for like Jimmy Nielsen to fucking
just walk up,
walk through the door, and suit up again. Like,
yeah,
like at this point, the general perception. Like, I think I saw a quote from Vermees training, and I forget the gist of it, but it essentially was like. Basically, like, oh, he's basically this upcoming game isn't a must win. The only must win is the final. And someone's like, yes, because when my team's playing like shit, that's exactly what I want to hear from my coach. Like, listen, after the Montreal game, Jim said it was a fucking shit show.
yeah.
He was brutally honest. And after the Orlando game, he's like, listen, I know we were missing players, but that was a horrible game.
Yep.
He's brutally honest, and he like. And the ironic thing is Vermees is typically one of the most hot-headed coaches in the league. So, like, to see him saying this at a point where, again, he's got a 5-year contract. He's gotten, like, at this point, it feels like it would take a Claudio Reyna type
scandal
to get him booted out. Like, it genuinely just feels like the ownership are going, hey, listen, he's won us some trophies. He can stay until he decides to leave.
Yep. Totally agree.
All right, guys, let's get into some lineups here. All right. So Kevincho, Saturday night, when your boys come up here to Chester, what do you think will be the starting 11 for Sporting KC?
Oh, it's going to be the same shit. What's unbelievable is like our coach said that, we're going to, Ben Sweat is like one of the worst players in this league, and he straight up, I guess, yelled at him or at the end of the match, and then straight up referenced that there's going to be players that need to be on the bench and realize that, or they need to see a different point of view. Like they're going to be on the bench and maybe not touch the field, maybe ever again. There's already rumors of people saying that he's going to get waived. They're just going to tear up his contract and go, you know what, we'll pay you whatever we need to get out of here, Ben. Same thing with Kyrie Shelton. The guy's nice guy.
Can't hit the net.
I mean, he is horrifically bad. This is going to be the lineup.
Brujo Justin.
He's basically what's going to happen is Peter's going to put up Pulskamp in the back. Pulskamp has been very shaky, and I love him so much, but he lets everything in, and he's going to have. I don't know if he's going to have Ben Sweat, but we don't have that many options because people are hurt. We just got a guy we just got a Colombian today. I think he arrived. Wait, was it today? Hold on.
Argentino, but Colombiano.
Yeah, I know. Close enough. I mean, that's the closest I'm going to get. I already got Felipe's Colombian as well, but we just got a guy, another defensive player coming in who might play. For sure, we're going to see Johnny Russell. I think we're going to see Daniel Shalloway. I'm going to pray to God to see Alan Pulido. I do not want him coming in the 60th minute or something. Like, he needs to play now. Like, come on. Hopefully, Kyrie on the bench. And in the midfield
Zach, Kyrie Shelton is what would happen to Casper if he finished even less than half of the chances he finished.
Oh, so really bad. Also,
really
Sweat
bad,
can't play because he got the red card. So.
Oh, right. That's right. You're absolutely right.
You don't have to worry about that.
Dude, thank God. Okay, well, we're gonna put in, I don't even know, a young gun in there, I guess. It's what's weird is like we're all kind of asking questions because we're like, who is in? Like we have the list that says like who's questionable. It's like everyone's questionable. Like, what do you mean? We're all
no one's healthy.
No one's ready. Healthy. Exactly. And someone say, "Yeah, my back kind of hurts." All right, Alan Pulido is questionable. It's gonna be a toss up. All I care about for real guys is if I see Alan in the starting 11, I might freak out. You know, you guys could beat us. I just want Alan just starting. That's it.
That's gonna be the promo clip for TikTok.
Heck yeah, let's
go.
Alan
Pulido on the starting lineup.
Just praying.
This is all I care about.
That's it. Beat us 5-0, please.
Pulido.
Yeah.
Zach, let's get your prediction, and then Justin, let us know if you agree or disagree.
It's going to be the same lineup that the Union have ran out for the other games besides the last match with. It's going to be the exact same. You're going to have
Blake starting.
I wouldn't if it were me, I would not start Andre, but I think Jim will start him. Bizo, actually, No, Bizo's going to start, even though he shouldn't either.
It's getting really tough. Loving what Nate's been doing.
Glesnes and Elliott, Kai, Brujo, Leon back on the left, Ali probably on the right, Gazdag, and then the two strikers, Ua and Carranza. That's what it's going to be. Maybe Nate starts over Bizo. We'll see, but
Okay.
I think that's just a crapshoot.
That sounds like 3-0.
That's exactly what the Orlando fans thought their score was going to be.
Whatever.
Oh God, man.
So Zach predicts the main gun's going to be in there. Justin, do you think that's what should happen?
I've been tossing it back, the debating what I think if it should go back to the normal lineup. Based on everything that we've heard from Jim, and we'll see how the week goes, it is leaning towards that Andre will play. This kind of was the game I was shooting when it was a grade 1. They said about 2 to 3 weeks. I thought realistically, you're not going to throw him back in against Orlando with so many players missing. I mean, you knew that from the start, so you knew it was probably going to be this game. If not, you would probably have him in at least for Tuesday for CCL, the home leg against Atlas. I think the back line will be the normal back line. I kind of was debating about Nate versus Olivier, but considering the state of that SKC defense, Olivier is exactly
more
the type of
attacking,
person to get him behind. If they roll, listen, unless Graham Zuzi, revs up his, supercharges
Left back boots.
His,
left back boots, baby.
Come on, if Lefty supercharges his electric scooter to be able to keep up, I genuinely think that's kind of the areas on the wings where that's going to be big. Having Brujo back is for all we joke, and I know Zach, the amount of headache.
It's never a joke for me, but
but we understand the positives he brings comparatively to Leon.
You do,
and I think having him there is going to definitely be a big help for the back line again to kind of keep that stability. Leon in this formation is a better shuttler. We've talked about this. He when he has two people in front of him who are similar, like when it's Ali and Pereira, he's not going to have that coverage, and that's not where he's comfortable. And listen, missing Daniel Gazdag, he has been an absolute sensation. At this point, I'm kind of scared that he will be gone in the winter because the way he's been playing, the offers are going to continue, and if he has another great season, then it's going to be dangerous. And Ali having a lot of these Leon, having that normal midfield allows Ali to make those runs that he can make. And listen, against Orlando, unfortunately, him and Pereira were making those runs, and Pereira is faster, and neither one of them are really getting back. And I'm sure Julian did not love watching that game from the press box. Probably was not loving that one.
Definitely not.
Right.
And I think a not stomach bug ridden Ua, him and Carranza and Gaza as that front three. I said this last year, and I still believe it. They are one of the best front threes in the league. And when they are going, and we saw that it took a little bit of time last season, and it may happen again this year. Once they get going, it's like there is basically no stopping them. Listen, we forget that Ua had a brace against Montreal, even in that loss. Gazdag had a brace in the first game. It's not like players aren't producing. It's just it's a weird start to the season, and I fully expect this game to rebound. Listen, hey, the home streak's broken, and we can start a new one. This is kind of my thought.
Absolutely. Real quick for everyone at home keeping track, Atlas just destroyed Puebla this past weekend 4-0. And then they have their big derby. I guess it's the Jalisco derby. I don't know what they call it, but Chivas contra Atlas.
Oh, so did they finally get up from 16th in the table was when I saw them the last time?
Rolling a little bit. But let's get some predictions before we head off here. Kevincho, what do you think is going to happen on Saturday? And give us a key for the Union to beat SKC since
Oh,
this is
yeah.
a new podcast.
Yeah. I'll give you the key real quick before
Playing
I
one.
bounce.
Showing up.
No, literally. If you guys see Zusi in the starting 11, okay, I love my guy, but if you see him, tell coach, I don't know, send this in a little DM, just literally cook him. Just go straight at Zusi. Literally, whatever that guy, what's his name, Lu Chu, whatever the guy's name was for Seattle. Leo Chu's like, every Seattle fan was like, dude is garbage. You know, he's gonna be playing. He's bad. The dude, all he did was just go right at Zusi. He had no idea what to do. He didn't have the legs. So I think he is going to be crucial. If Zusi is on the field, go towards him. He's going to leave you wide open spaces. You're going to be just fine, Philly. Don't worry. My score line, I'm going to be so optimistic, okay, and say Philly gets 3, but Allen scores his 1 goal. It kicks up, I don't know. It gives us the craziest run ever in MLS Cup history, and we solidify 9th place, baby. You heard it here
Playing
first.
game, baby. Playing
game. That's all we want. That's all I want.
There we go. We're gonna let Kevincho out here a little early, but Kevincho, let the people know where they could find the great work of yours.
Well, seriously, guys, thank you for having me. And it's kind of weird. So like Twitter is Kevincho_TV. Same with YouTube. So those are the same. And then TikTok is Kevincho_reacts. So I post like highlights of the streams there and everything. And on Twitter as well. Just Kevincho. Maybe I'll pop up. I don't know. We'll see.
Kevincho, you enjoy that match on Saturday. We really do appreciate you coming on here, brother.
No, thank you guys so much. Anytime.
Señores y señores, Kevincho.
Ciao. Bye, guys.
See it. Thank you to Kevincho hopping on in here. So let's finish this off, guys, with the predictions of you two. So let's start off with Zach here. Zach, what do you think will happen on Saturday night?
2-0 is my prediction. I think let's predict the game. Let's go in. I think Gazdag gets one. I think Carranza gets one. I think Ua assists Gazdag, and I think Gazdag assists Carranza. And yeah, that's gonna be the scoreline. I think it could end up 6-0 though. Who knows? I don't know.
Carranza scores the goal. He lifts the shirt up. Hi, Kevincho.
Yeah.
He
Justin, what do you got?
URL. He has a URL to buy his jersey, as Kevincho said on Twitter. I was being a bit, for a while leading up to this, I was being very cautious. But again, forgetting the fact that hey, we're gonna have our normal lineup in, and the way SKC is, I have a really hard time believing that this would be a repeat of the Orlando game. Especially with a full complement, I genuinely have a hard time. I'm gonna go 3-0. I think each one of the front 3 has a goal. I think it's one of those where the Union will genuinely get off on it. I mean, listen, I think they're gonna want to get off into a better front than they did last game. And I think the biggest thing is going to be getting at that back line, especially getting at Zusi. Like, I mean, if he's playing on that left-hand side, Olivier, all Ali's getting or Brujo's going to do is just send that ball in and just cook and put him on the spin cycle all day. If that's the case, that is going to wear down that defense. I genuinely think that the Union are going to create a lot of chances, and 3-0 might even be a conservative one, considering the way that that KC received 4 goals to Jordan Morris. Like, come on, man! Like, that's got to give us some hope.
Yeah, that's not someone you want to be letting 4 goals up to.
Yeah, that is true. We'll see if our boys in blue do the same to SKC. But that's going to do it for this edition of Duke by the River. Really appreciate all you guys tuning on in. Of course, appreciate Kevincho for coming on in here as well. Guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe for all of your live viewings of Dupe by the River here on El Parcero Phillies YouTube channel. And of course, follow us on Twitter, Dupe by the River Podcast. And of course, we stream wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us on Dupe by the River Pod. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Justin, President of Marketing Freiburg. That is Zach Labasso. Of course, I go by the name of El Parcero Philly, and we're telling you guys to dupe on.